Welcome to part 3 of our free Slicer Pane mini course. Now, if you haven't watched part 1 or part 2 yet, click the links in the description of this video to check those parts out first. Let's take this temporary shape that's right above our button slicer and drag it to the bottom of it. We'll use our red vertical and horizontal lines to properly align it to the bottom. Now let's take that button slicer and copy it. Let's drag it right to the bottom of that temporary shape. We're going to switch the type of slicer from a button slicer to a list slicer. We're going to take out category and we're going to search for country. You're going to drag in the country field from the region table. Then you're going to search for manager. You're going to drag in manager name right below the country field. Next, we're going to go to Format Your Visual, General, Properties. We're going to change the height to 233. The width won't need to change. It should be 328. Let's open up padding. All the padding is going to stay the same except for the bottom. We're going to switch that to a 15 pixel. Let's open up title. And we're going to change the title to Country Manager. And again, these two icons I simply got from Emojipedia. Next, let's go to Visual Settings. Open up Layout. We're going to turn fixed number off. For max buttons, we're going to go with a 5. For space between buttons, we're also going to go with a 5. For the indent, we're going to change it to a 10. Let's scroll down and open up Selection Icon. Next, we're going to open up Layout. We're going to leave the position as left. The size, we're going to go with a 14. And the spacing, we're going to up to a 10. Let's keep scrolling down and open up buttons. Let's change the state to all. And we're going to scroll down, turn border on. Settings should already be okay. And then let's test this out. So when you select a button, check mark should show, color should be green. We can expand these. And the same thing should be applied to the managers within. Now in this particular example, we are going to choose to leave these selection icons on for both the parent and the child beneath it, which would be the manager names. However, you can change this. So for example here, if I go to selection icon and select the parent, which is country, I can turn that icon off if I want. And you also have the option of going up here to Slicer Settings and selecting Single Select, turning Restrict to Leaf Nodes on, and then turning Single Select off. So now, if I were to go to Country here and turn the icon off, notice how when I click in it, it's not selecting the country. However, I can select the individual manager names beneath it. So again, it's all a matter of preference depending on what you want your user to be able to do. But in our case here, we're going to let everything be selected. So I'm going to turn Single Select on, turn Restrict to Leaf Nodes off, and then turn Single Select off. All right, so we're looking really good here. One thing though I am noticing is the expand icon, I think is a little too big. So I'm going to select this slicer and go down to Expand Collapse Icon, Layout, and I'm going to reduce the size from 16 to go with 14. That looks good. And that leads me to my Pro UX UI tip number 5. Include accessibility features. Adding this green check mark when a selection is made is a smart UX choice for accessibility. Instead of relying solely on color, we're using a familiar visual cue to give our users instant feedback. This clearly indicates that a selection is active. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is take this horizontal shape and left click and hold and drag it right to the bottom of this slicer right here. Then we're going to go to Insert, Button, Blank Button, drag the button right over here. Let's go to General, Properties. We're going to make the button height 35 and the width is going to be 100. Let's go to the button settings, open up Shape, and we're going to change the shape to a rounded rectangle. We're going to reduce the corners to 20%. We're going to open up Style, turn text on. We're going to type the words clear all. We're going to go with a Sago UI for the font. We're going to go with a 9 for the size. And the color is going to be our default black. We're going to keep scrolling down. We're going to turn icon off, turn fill on, expand it, and we're going to go with the color of E6, E6, E6 with a 0% transparency. And we need to adjust the font because I don't like how that's not bold. So let's change the font to Sago UI semi-bold. I think that looks a lot better. Next, we'll scroll down and turn border off. Now turn action on, and we're going to change the type here to clear all slicers. Now we're going to scroll back up and then change the state on hover. We'll scroll down, open up fill, and we're going to change the color to the hex code of D0, D0, D0. Let's test it out. All right, that looks good. Now let's take that button and duplicate it. Drag the duplicated button above it. We're going to go to button settings, style, change it to default. We're going to change the text to close. We're going to change the color to white. We're going to scroll down, open up fill, and we're going to change the fill color to the hex code of 025B50. Then we're going to scroll back up and change it to on hover. Scroll back down, change the fill color to the same exact green color, except we're going to change the transparency to 30%. And when we hover over it, you can see the effect it's making. Let's scroll down and open up action and just change this to a bookmark, and we're going to leave it at none just for right now. All right, so now let's take that close button and drag it to the right bottom corner of that last open space here. And we'll even zoom in a little bit, and we can manually adjust that button. Now let's take this left vertical temporary shape, align it with the button, then take that clear all button, align it to the left side of that. Now we can delete all of these temporary shapes that we made for our margins. Let's zoom back to 100%. Take a look. All right, we're looking really good here. And this leads me to my Pro UX UI tip number 6. Use contrast to draw attention. We look at this darker green close button right here. We can see that it's serving as a clear visual anchor. It's our primary call to action to our users. We're trying to draw their attention to that button. So by leveraging contrast, we're guiding our users' attention to the intended next step that we want them to take, which would be to close the slicer pane after they have made their selections. All right, so the last thing we're going to do in this part of the course is go up to our selection pane, and we are going to rename these layers, group them, and order them accordingly. So I'm going to do that right now and show you the end result. All right, so I've done that, which leads me to my Pro UX UI tip number 7. Name, group, and organize your layers. If we look here at the selection pane, we can see that we have 3 groups. We have the background group, and if we were to open the background group up, we can see here that these layers that I've created with simple shapes are all in a certain order. The bottom shape in this group is the first layer. The one on top of that would be our bottom canvas, followed by the top dark canvas. Then we have our selection shape, followed by our horizontal line. All of these are in our background group. We can show it and hide it. The next group we have is the slicer pane button that we created earlier. Within it, we have 2 visuals. We have our card counter, and then we have our button that sits on. And our last group is the slicer pane that we just made. We open it up. You can see exactly how I did it. And again, we just follow in order. You can see the title is right at the top, and if you work your way down, all of the layers will work their way top to bottom. Now it's important that this slicer pane is actually the first group all the way to the top, because eventually when we open it, we want this to be on top of everything else that's on our canvas. And actually, we should add one more layer to this, which would be a background shape that would darken everything behind it so the user can truly focus on this slicer pane. So let's go to Insert, Shape, Rectangle. And we're going to drag it to the very top. Go to Style, Remove Border, make the color our default black, and then drag it all the way to the right-hand side. So the properties should be 720 by 1280. We're going to take that shape and name it within the selection pane, shape underscore overlay, and then we're going to drag it right into our slicer pane group right at the very bottom. Then we're going to have that shape overlay selected, and then under style, we're going to adjust the transparency. You can play around with this. So for example, 30% we can go with, which looks pretty nice. I think I'll just leave it there at 30%. So now when you show it, you can see this cool overlay effect where it darkens the canvas behind the slicer pane. And again, it allows our users to focus on the slicer pane. All right, so that concludes part 3. Check out the description of this video to continue so you can follow along with part 4.